Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still working on improving our relations with the European powers so that we can safely get fighty with Egypt without having some kind of problem. Unbalanced trade. The famine in Ottoman Montenegro has sparked criticism of the Ottoman Empire's economic policy of mercantilism, with its focus on export-heavy trade. Some of our leaders seem to view the Ottoman Empire as simply a player at a table trying to outsmart other nations to win some abstract game beyond the understanding of the common man. Brutal. If they took their eyes off their balance sheets for a moment and looked at the people who are producing the goods on them, they might notice that they are flesh and blood humans, not pawns, and they need to eat. Indispensable imports must be secured even under mercantilism. This gives us reduces import tariffs and authority, but increases trade route volume and makes the local governors unhappy. What do the poor know of national economy? This makes lower stardom pops in Montenegro radical. I'm going to do the second one. Is this happening because I have a bread shortage? I think it is. No, because bread's affordable. I have an excess of bread, of grain. Alright, well, that's weird. But it is what it is. Oh, this goes for 4 years. I thought it only went for 2. Or raise the SOL by 3, which is not going to happen. Because, again, we're not necessarily focusing on SOL, but also we don't have the construction capacity to really do a whole lot with that for the moment. We're almost done with these paper mills, and I'm hoping that really cuts the stall. Gosh darn it. Immediately, huh? Well, it is what it is. I'm really hoping that increasing the supply of paper will help out with my overall cost of governing. I say as I'm building up a bunch of barracks, but we'll see how that goes. I'm going to put the barracks first, I've decided. And the universities after. I was going to intersperse them, but I like having military stuff sorted out, and once I get these barracks squared away, I think I'll be in a much better position to actually do offensive warfare in a way that's meaningful. We still only have one construction line moving at the moment, and I really would like to get higher amounts of construction available, but it's just not going to be workable for us at the moment. So at this point, we're pretty much hurtling towards a legislative failure, unless I can get a big positive result of some kind. Anyway, these shouldn't take too long. These take about 4 weeks a pop, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this is going to take about the rest of the year. But that's okay. We're moving up to Army Reserves and getting up to General Staff. A lot of debate failed. That's going to trigger the Legislative Failures event pretty shortly. And then once we got General Staff... Oh, but General Staff is going to have a research speed debuff because... Well, we'll finish out Paddle Steamer. And then we'll do General Staff. And then we'll do the other stuff in reverse order. Is that wise? How much does General Staff cost now? Gosh, 5 years. Oh, that's really brutal. That's so much. But is this taking into account Army Reserves? Yes. So it's really only going to be, I think, 4. Or a little bit less than 3 and change. So will it be faster to do that than to research all of Paddle Steamer? Paddle Steamer is going to take 1.5 years. But actually, Paddle Steamer will finish from spread while we're researching General Staff. So I'm going to go straight on to it. Because this will finish in... it's only 7 to 10 to finish it. All right, we'll do paddle steamer. Hopefully then we'll get general staff spreading to us. No, come on. All right, that was just a misclick. I don't. I put some in shell gun. That's dumb. That was bad. Well, it is what it is. Not a tragedy. Not a problem. Oop. Generous donations. After receiving notice of the horrors... Oh, and here's legislative failures. After receiving notice of the horrors that the citizens of Ottoman Montenegro have been enduring, solidarity among the nations has been raised, and there are many who want to donate to the cause. And behold, before us lies a once beautiful and prosperous city. Fertile lands, happy faces, simple lives. Alas, those times have long passed, people of my people, and now hunger harries the peace, as dreadful as the wolf itself. It is our duty to try to alleviate their suffering. I see that this will make us hold a sanctuary in their hearts, in the heart of their country, and in the heart of mankind. This will bring our nations closer. So, I can get donations from Prussia, or Tripolitania, or I can rely on internal donations, which makes the local governors stronger and happier. I'm going to get them from Prussia. That'll kickstart my my diplomatic effort with them. Legislative failures. You must sponsor a rewrite of the bill. This gives it a setback. Let's see what the next result is. Failed. Great. That's my favorite, and I love it. At least Tripolitania is loyal to us. There's Army Reserves. So from here, I think once we get up to 50 with Austria and Britain, we'll be good to go. Austria does not want a trade agreement. We're not trading all that much with Austria, so that's not shocking. As you can see, these expansions of the barracks are costing us additional cash, but I'm hoping we continue to function here. So I'm going to move the iron mines up in priority. I know research is a very important long-term priority, but it's just like keeping my cash flow situation handled is so freaking important in the early game. In fact, I'm extremely likely to halt construction when I go to war. Just because I need to have the construction that I need. Just because I need to have the cash that I need. There's the cotton gin. That should be good. Got a stall. Alright, that's going to be another setback. Yep. Sponsor a rewrite. Yep. Back to 17%. So we just got medical degrees, which is nice. That unlocks charity hospitals, which we may end up going with. And we got romanticism spreading to us. That's going to be very good to have in the long term, or in the medium term at least, because... And we got lathe. That's kind of inevitable. Romanticism is what unlocks the agrarianism economy option, which is actually really, really critical for getting out of traditionalism. It's one of the only kind of effective ways to get out of traditionalism without having the local governors be totally, totally mad all the time. As you can see, they've got a lot of power from all of the stuff that's going on. Particularly from serfdom and the slave trade. Those are things we can deal with, but it's going to take time. Russia is going after Circassia now. Hopefully that will... We've got kind of... I can't go too slowly with this because I don't want Russia to get itself involved in our situation. In fact, I might pull the trigger as soon as we're friendly with, until we're at least cordial with France. But I really want things to be going well with Great Britain, because I want to make sure they don't intervene against me, because they've done so in the past, and it's not great. Awesome! The legislative graveyard. After a series of costly and embarrassing setbacks, the sitting Ottoman government has decided to halt its pursuit of a professional army. It will be some time before political will exists to try again. Defeat lingered in the air, along with the stench of burnt tobacco and spoiling liquor. Hopes crushed, ideas splintered, and desire spoiled. For better or worse, the message was clear. Nobody wanted a professional army but the men in the room. A long, treacherous path lay ahead to re-ingratiate the idea. Alright, so that's a no-go. What next? Let's pull in the rural folk and see if we can do tenant farmers. Rural folk do like that. Only the rural folk like national militia. Consumption-based taxation is not in the cards for this government. Yeah, so. Interesting, the armed forces don't like this switchover. Interesting. Yep, and here's the local governor is trying to keep serfdom. We got a 19% success chance, so we'll see how that goes. Huh, that's not great. Oh, the finances are a problem. If I want to keep the rural folk in the government, I can't go to high taxes, so we're just going to need to go into a little bit of a debt, which is not something I want to do. But I think the only other option at this point, we'll probably pause our development once we finish out these mines. Outmoded economics. The famine in Ottoman Montenegro has sparked criticism of the Ottoman Empire's economic policy of traditionalism, with its opposition to international trade and refusal to change with the times. For whose benefit does the Ottoman Empire let its economy remain in the past, while the world around it barrels into modernity? Certainly not those who lie dead in the gutter. The beneficiaries might think that tradition has blinded us to who they are and what must be done, but the past they are holding on to no longer exists. If they choose to stay in it, neither will they. Maintaining traditions should not cost lives. This is basically the same effects as the other event with the trade. Where peasants have starved in every era, such as the way of the world, this creates much more radical pops. This doesn't help us. It just increases trade route volume and reduces tariffs on imports and costs us authority. So that's not going to be... I'm just going to go with the second one. It's going to make the industrialists unhappy, but that just kind of is what it is. Like, they're going to be unhappy, and they're going to live with it. Alright, so we've successfully... Hey, law debate success. That puts us up to 29%. So we've successfully improved relations with Wallachia. They're loyal now. Serbia and Moldavia are still rebellious. Relations with Russia continue to be bad. Can't afford to unrival them at the moment. Alright, well, this might be a mistake. No, I'm waiting. I'm going to show restraint. Not something I usually do. But I'm going to do it this time because I really want to make this a solid Ottoman Empire run that we can all enjoy. Wow, the paper situation's really goofed. I still don't have sulfite piping, which is the technology, which is the production method that increases their output. That's only available with mechanical tools, so I think that's going to be the next thing once we finish general staff and associated technologies. And meanwhile, we're just trying to get Tenant Farmers so that we can get rid of serfdom and go back to a reasonable economy. Do I still have those bureaucratic capacity debuffs? Yes, but not for long. Cool. That'll be very good. At that point, I might be able to get a dedicated police force without having a problem. Although, again, dedicated police force is not necessarily a priority because I don't have local police force at the moment, and local police force increases the power of the local governors, which is basically the reason you go to dedicated police force a lot in the early game. A famous cafe? Did I get an event that just disappeared? Am I crazy? You saw that, right? You saw that, right? What happened? Okay, weird. Anyway, peasantry, rebranded. A clash of thought has erupted in eastern Thrace. Rural firebrands have criticized the tenant farmers' laws for supporting a master-servant relationship with the local governors. Fah! We work too much for that, madame. All I'm saying is that if I wanted a woman to take all I work for, chain me to a bed, and call her mistress, I'd rather actually owe her money first. The nearest bordello is 3 towns away. Oh, I were thinking of a marriage dowry. Perhaps a revision is in order. This makes the governors very upset and reduces knack chance. People will work what they're worth. This makes the rural folk upset, or concessions must be made. Must not avert the revolution. This reduces success chance a lot and makes lower stratum pops unhappy. I am currently making the rural folk very happy, so I'm going to deal with them being unhappy first, because again, I can't have the local governors be completely salty about all this too much. So part of the reason I'm going to be halting construction here is because having debt is generally pretty bad. Like, it's not that having debt by itself is bad, but having debt itself costs you money, and if you get into too much debt, you can get into a situation where you actually can't afford to pay it back without increasing taxes. And increasing taxes is not a thing you want to do in Victoria 3, because increasing taxes is a serious, serious problem. Because it knocks standard of living down, and the standard of living needs to stay high, or you get a bunch of radicals. Unless you have really good laws and internal security and stuff, reducing standard of living, like if standard of living vacillates up and down, like an increase in standard of living will cause fewer loyalists than a decrease will cause radicals. So vacillating standard of living or stuttering standard of living will cause a bunch of radicals unless you've got some kind of counter effect happening, like a really, really legitimate government or something of that nature. Crooked connections. Frustrated by the lengthy legal process surrounding tenant farmers, Mehmet Emin Rauf Pasha of the local governors has approached us with an offer to expedite the process, utilizing his personal connections within the state apparatus. A few words in the right ears is all I'm asking for. Everything within the bounds of the law, of course, although I cannot guarantee that our opponents in this matter will view such actions with much glee. Granted permission, time is of the essence. This makes the rural folk even more unhappy, but reduces enactment time by 20%. Or no, we do this by the book, or not at all. I'm going to do the second one. I don't want the rural folk too mad at me. They are going to be made overall happier by this, but it's going to, like, I don't want to put in a bunch of opinion debuffs, because once the opinion bonus that I'm getting from them for doing this decays, I don't want to be in a bad situation. So as you can see, we've got about 180k in debt right now, and we're paying about 350 in interest. You can see the interest item here at the bottom of the fixed national expenses here. So that's why we're going to pause construction. Anyway, the investment pool's got about £500,000 in it, so hopefully that will use the rest of the investment pool on constructing whatever the investment pool is currently constructing. Oh, they're building paper mills. That's actually very good for us, because getting paper cheaper is an important thing. Put that on pause. This is going to be important because we're going to be going to war pretty soon. Yeah. I have to say that that budget surplus is not where I would like it to be. Oof, rough. It's rough, friends. Who's it rank? Ugh. All right. Okay, who has increased in rank over me? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I'm not necessarily going to concern myself with it for now. It is what it is. I'm happy to be a major. Bureaucratic imbroglio. Lawmakers working towards the enactment of tenant farmers found themselves mired in a particularly complex set of bureaucratic proceedings, grinding the work towards reform to a near halt. The fully developed bureaucratic apparatus compares with other organizations exactly as does the machine with the non-mechanical modes of production. That is to say, the teeth of its individual gears meet in accord, or its gears will gnash and churn until it eventually breaks. We've seen this event before. I can reduce enactment time and enactment chance, or I can lose a bit of bureaucracy to only increase enactment time. I'm going to do the second one. It's going to cost me some bureaucracy, but I can afford it. An increase in time is not that big of a deal. I am about to get to 50 relations with Great Britain. That's going to be a hugely important thing to be changing. So I'm going to start improving relations with the United States. That'll give me a little bit of capacity here. A little room to play around. And I'm going to improve relations with Greece. Relations with Greece are very bad, but I'm hoping we can thaw them. Again, reducing in rank won't necessarily be a problem for us. Relations with France are very bad. Do you want a trade agreement? No. Ooh, not even close, actually. No. It is what it is. We got opium plantations being built by the private sector. That's pretty solid. This situation is not making me happy right now. I think we've fallen in rank. I'll probably reduce government wages. We're very close by, though. We could build a few more barracks, but I don't necessarily want to cost myself the money at this juncture. Alright, I think we're ready to get our fight on, so let's go ahead and get our fight on. Interesting. So this is new. Primary demand. Egypt returns the state of Adana to the Ottoman Empire. Demanding this results in a diplomatic incident, giving 0.5 infamy to Ottoman Empire. So, if they refuse, this will trigger a diplomatic play, which may escalate into a war. So this is just a demand right now, which is interesting. I'm going to go ahead and send that, and we're going to see what they say. Alright, so now it's a diplomatic play. So let's add some more war goals. We're going to demand the return of Aleppo. Syria. Lebanon. Palestine. And Transjordan. I can add these to primary and it won't cause much more infamy. So let's go ahead and do it. Now, who can I sway? I can sway Great Britain or France. Both of them have... both of them are willing to accept a sway, so that's very good. Let's go ahead and mobilize the troops. Reasserting our authority in Syria. Egypt seized most of our Levantine provinces in 1833 after its governor tried and failed to overthrow the entire imperial government. The time to reclaim the lands we lost in that war is long overdue. However, this is likely to draw the attention of any great powers in Europe. What was once ours shall be ours again. The imprint we've left on Egypt and the Levant cannot be ignored. Like the lines that time carves on a mountain, we have also carved our fate in the land with the footprints of our ancestors. Go, go now, children of the sun. We must see to it that they're on our side. Ooh, this gives us a bunch of relations bonuses with European powers that cost us influence, or we do not need their approval to take what is ours. I'm gonna go with the first one. That's gonna save us a lot of influence in the long run. All right, so let's put our armies in place here. Ooh. Prussia wants a trade agreement? Absolutely. So these bars are these armies getting mobilized. Some of them are taking their sweet time, others are getting ready to go pretty fast. So we'll see how that affects things. We're still doing pretty okay financially. Ooh, law progressed to consideration. That's wonderful. And as soon as these armies get mobilized, I'm going to put them on the relative fronts. And then I'm going to station this army, this navy, in the main sea node where the situation is occurring. So who can we sway? Great Britain. Transfer subjects. Excuse me? You want one of my subjects, Great Britain? No. Offer an obligation. Okay, what about France? So you want Tunis. But I like having Tunis. Alright, well, Great Britain with an obligation it is. And they sided with me. Wonderful. And my armies are mobilized. My first army is mobilized. So we'll put them on this front here. Balkans HQ is mobilized. We'll put you on this front here. As you can see, we got transit lines here. This army is mobilized. We'll put you on this front, which I consider kind of the main front. And this army is getting towards mobilized. Come on, get yourself mobilized. Okay, you're mobilized. Alright, so we'll put you here. So these armies have all nearly arrived at the fronts they need to be arriving at. So you can see we got a West Aegean Islands naval node screen here. And we got a navy here. And we can... So how do I give you orders? Maybe I don't give navies orders until the war actually begins. So all of these armies are advancing their respective fronts. And one of the things that's interesting in the new patch is you can actually see those fronts down here. So you can see these are their guys, and these are our guys. They're already shooting, even though there's not really a war yet. I guess this represents sort of border skirmishes and incidents happening. So yeah, so we got a lot of strength here, and then we're almost deployed, and then we got parity here. So I think we should be able to win this, particularly with Great British help. How great and helpful are the British going to be? We'll find out. And you're going to see how battles go, and we're all going to see this together, because I haven't actually seen a proper war in the new patch yet, because it literally just happened yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to play it yesterday in any run that led to a war. I've got a little bit of influence available, so I'm going to start improving relations with the Italian powers. Okay, let's get going here. There's the war. So, we're advancing right now, and that should lead to a battle, and once a battle pops, we'll see how that goes. We're also kind of advancing in the south, so that's good. We got a Tripolitanian army here helping out. So here's our battle. It does appear that the enemy is winning. That's not great. I don't love that. I wonder why. Obviously, their defense is higher than our offense. We've brought quite a few more troops than they have, but I'm not sure. So we'll see. One of the changes was the long sort of tail of battles was supposed to kind of not have an effect in the current patch, but we'll see how that goes. Because this battle has been going on for like a week now, I would say. Yeah, since 13 November, so almost a month. While I progress to adoption. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot. We have some options here under mobilization. I can give armies groceries and other things to increase their morale recovery. So I think I'm going to do that. Let's see. So this is a sugar input, a tobacco input, and a liquor input. So we've got plenty of liquor available. Sugar is doing just fine. Tobacco could be better. And then groceries is also not very affordable. So I think we're going to go ahead and do just tobacco and... Well, dang it. Alright, so we'll do just liquor and sugar. And we'll do tobacco for just that one army. Interesting. That's a funny... it's a funny little quirk. So as you can see, this is costing us a little bit of extra cash. But, it is what it is. We do seem to still be having a bit of a tail here, but this is a pretty close-fought battle, so that might be affecting that. How's the battle going on over here? The enemy is also winning this one. That's a shame. Hey, Great Britain, you want to, get involved here? So supposedly, in this patch, we'll be seeing multiple battles per front. Okay, that one was no good. And we are going to continue advancing. Are we? Oh no, we got another battle happening here. Okay, this one we're winning solidly. We've got a pretty significant increase in... We got a pretty significant overage in strength here. So I'm hoping that'll lead to a successful battle. It does appear that the enemy's war score is ever so slightly lower than ours. They're getting 1.7 per week, and we're getting 1.28. So I'm hoping that's what that is. And here's our battle happening here. As you can see, this is a very old-timey battle because we're not running any of these big, fancy, modern production methods for our troops. But I'm sure that once things get going forward with that, we'll see changes in the overall visual design of the battles. We've also got another battle happening over here in the south, which we appear to be winning with British help. So that's fun. And then the front line moves really far. Wow, that's so extreme. We took over all of Machu in one battle. That's bananas. Also, it appears that there's a naval invasion happening here from our friends in Tripolitania, so that's kind of wild. This battle's still going on. But we should be pressing forward pretty fast here now with this strength ratio that we got here. We got about a 4-to-1 ratio on them overall in terms of strength, so I'm hoping that'll be able to sort itself out. And once this war is over, we will have control of... No, Britain, stop! No, don't! Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are they going? Where are they going? They're going over here. Hold on, I'm just trying to figure out where this British army is wandering off to. They're going across country. Across the desert. Going up the river. Okay. Alright, they're in the desert and there is Israel. Huh, interesting. Are these separate fronts? Or are they just separate front sections? I think they're just separate front sections. I don't think they count as separate fronts. Bread and blood. The lack of provisions has spread to the neighboring state of southern Serbia, where the failing of the crops has increased casualties among our people. No imagination can conceive, no man or woman can picture, no language can express, no author, no journalist, no painter or actor can give form to the horrors that many families face in southern Serbia. Their malnourished faces, as thin as Galgos babies, can hardly be distinguished as Galgos. Babies can hardly be distinguished from the bulges of blankets. If only they hadn't sold all their blankets to buy the last amount of food of enough. Hey, we got tenant farmers. Well, I'm sorry the people are starving, but now they have landlords. These are the consequences we must face, or we should engage in emergency relief procedures. I'm going to do the emergency relief one now. Now I've got enough authority to do this, so we'll go ahead and quickly activate that. Where are we? Where are we? Southern Serbia. The other one was in Montenegro, so we'll put those both in place. Okay, here we go, and we got a second battle happening here, with British forces pushing forward against Egyptian forces. And we appear to have gotten a bunch of occupation in Adana, but not full occupation of Adana, so there's still a battle happening here. This episode's going really, really long, but we'll probably pack it in as soon as we get to the middle of the year. Alright, cool. So that's us closing out the battle, and that should have Adana fully occupied? Maybe? So we've got another battle happening here. And we've got some occupation of Syria here. Interesting. And meanwhile, we got two battles happening here in this sort of auxiliary front. But again, our primary front is here because these are the states we're trying to take over. The enemy is going to have war support protection. But so do we because we're holding our part of Adana, which they're trying to take over. Oh boy, this is a big battle. But we're winning it pretty handily. This is very good. I'm going to take a look in the tech tree and see where we can get better cavalry. Flank warfare, that unlocks mobile artillery. General staff unlocks skirmish infantry. Is there better cavalry available anywhere in here? Wherever it is, it's not in the military methods that I can see. Husband efforts? Breach loading artillery? No, that's a better artillery unit. Maybe it's in society? Well, maybe I'll look at it between episodes and try to get you a better answer than... We're continuing to press forward here on the front that matters. So that's very good. We've got a... So I think the front has moved to Aleppo now. And we're continuing to press forward in Aleppo. We've got a battle with a very solid advantage here. So I think this is the enemy's manpower ticker. I think they're mostly out of manpower in a lot of these armies, whereas we're still at fairly middling here. And then we've got a British army that's helping out over here. Or no, they're over here now. They vacated. The British are kind of all over the place, but they got the spirit. I'm gonna go back to constructing stuff. That's gonna cost us a pile of cash, but it's gonna be worth it in the long run. Alright, cool. So we got a little bit of occupation from that. It's really hard to see occupation here. I will say the map is very high quality, but it is hard to see where the occupation is. Oh, unfortunately, the enemy is pressing forward over here in Tripolitania. It's not ideal. So, can you hold down a front? You cannot. So Tripolitania may be out of this thing pretty soon. We're getting the Whispers of Insurrection event, this time in southern Serbia. I'm just going to do the same thing I've been doing before. Because I want to focus on this war situation and seeing how things go. I'm depleting my gold reserves pretty fast with building this university, but I just want to build up this university, friends. I want to get educated, and I want to get educated fast. Prussia broke off their trade agreement with us. That's kind of sad, but it is what it is. Panicked retreat. Oh, interesting. There's retreat conditions now. So that's a big change. So this is, I think, the change that they talked about with, like, this will help end the sort of the tail problem. Is that after a certain amount of time, one of the conditions that battles are fought under is a retreat condition that is just generally pretty bad, and that helps get the battle properly closed out. So this is an enemy army withdrawing back this way. As you can see, we've got really significant force advantage here on this front. So hopefully we can get Syria properly occupied. Again, we have war support protection, but so do they until we've got a hold of Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, and Transjordan. We've got another battle happening over here. This is that front opened up by those British troops. That or we've tried to do a sort of deep encirclement across Jebel Shamar, but across the desert there. Okay, so Tripolitania is probably going to bail out of this war pretty soon. Which is fine. I don't think they've got anything on the table. I'm going to queue in all of these, all of my war goals here. So we got 2 battles happening. So realistically, we're advancing pretty fast. Riot in the Bulgarian quarter. So this is the same thing we had before. I'm going to muster the army to deal with it. Cracking down on the riots is going to be very important. As you can see, we've got a large body of loyalists now. Oh, interesting. The sound profile changes when you bring up a menu. That's wild. That's very cool, actually. I like that. It's very, very strong design. Yeah, so I think Tripolitania is going to leave this war, but Egypt is also just sort of abandoning the main front here to defend Tripolitania, which I don't mind one bit. I'm very pleased to be advancing forward in all the territories that are relevant to my winning the war. Alright, so the front has advanced. There's still a front in Syria, but we actually now have a front with Palestine. For the battle for Acre, they have names now. Order restored in southern Serbia. Allah as-Sukur. Oh, we're losing. That's a shame. And now we're winning. So those were Tripolitanian troops. Ah, so this is our other army that we had over on the other front, and now they're... Or no, that's an enemy army. I'm not sure what that's about. You do have an Ottoman army, so you're going to this front now that the front in Tripolitania is closed out. So that's very good. Again, we're continuing to advance along this front. It looks like we're going to very solidly win this war, but we'll see how things go. For the moment, though, this episode has gone really, really long, so I gotta put a pin in it. But it looks like we're going to achieve the reclamation of Syria, and that's going to be a big deal. But for today, you'll have to wait until the next episode to see if that actually goes the way I say it's about to go. So for now, I've had fun, I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you all on the other side.